Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about a book that has shaken the world of personal finance, and the book is titled I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. The book promises to help you manage your money better, pay off your debt, and invest smartly, which already seems to be falling short of the goal of teaching me how to be rich, right? Well, my name is Eric Martel. I'm an entrepreneur and real estate investor, and over the last 10 years, I've invested in over 650 single-family rentals, apartment buildings, and all that totaling over $85 million in real estate transaction. And I'm doing these videos to help you make more money. And if this is something you want to, make sure you like and subscribe. All right, so Ramit Sethi seemed to appear out of nowhere. He had a Netflix show, he was on YouTube and all that kind of stuff, and I had never heard of him. So I did a little bit of research and I was surprised about what I found out. Sethi did not become rich by following the advice in his book. And to me, that's the first red flag. Sethi started first with a blog called I Will Teach You to Be Rich when he was still a student at Stanford University in 2004. After that, he published a book of the same name, and that book became very popular. But that book was really a brochure on selling his courses, his 6 weeks program, and all the different products and online courses that he has. None of these things are teaching you how to follow in his footsteps. All these things are not teaching you how to be rich, and this is kind of my first red flag. I mean, I would prefer to follow into someone's advice. And if Ramit would have written a book on how to start a blog, write a book, build a program and course and stuff like that in order to be rich, I would be the first one to buy his book. But that's not what he's doing. But let's get started with the first advice. It's about crushing student debt. But I need to tell you that this is not going to make you rich. Even though he has some good advice in terms of consumer loans and prioritizing payments based on interest rate, this is all good stuff. But I think what's important is that a lot of these consumer loans, especially student loan, you want to consider the interest rates that you're paying on that, and you may be able to invest that money into more profitable, higher returns investment rather than paying your student loan debt at that's 3 or 4%. So really look at the interest rate and see what kind of other returns you could do. This is good practical advice on saving you some money and improving your finances. But again, this is not going to help you be rich. Next, Sethi talks about the high interest savings account. So, I mean, this is great. These high interest account is great to park your money without losing too much. But the interest rate really on these accounts is not, it's higher than your regular bank account, but it's not really that high to make a significant difference. This is not a good way to invest your money. This is a good way to park your money, accumulate it so that you have enough funds to invest in something real like real estate or any kind of other investments that you might have. So that's a good way for that. But most of them, keeping the money in a high interest savings account is good for liquidity, but long term it's not great because typically these interest rates are still lower than the inflation. So over the long period of time, you're going to lose purchasing power. The third advice is around automating your finances, basically automating your bill payment. Yes, that's right. This is one of the most popular sections of the book, according to the readers, the reviews that I've seen. This is mind-boggling. This is just about automating payments from your bank to your credit card, from your bank to your electricity bill. Okay, that simplifies your life. You're not going to be rich doing that. Fourth advice is around negotiating late fees. Yeah, you heard me right, negotiating late fees. So yeah, it does happen sometimes that you're late on a payment for something. You can actually call the bank, call your credit card company or whatever and say, hey, can you please forgive this late fee and stuff like that. You can call the bank. He provides a script for doing that. It's going to work a couple of times with the bank, but if you call every month your credit card company to say you're late or your utility bill to say you're late, eventually it's not going to work out. They're going to say, well, too bad, you had to automate your payment in order to avoid these late fees. So it's going to save you a few bucks. Is that going to make you rich? I think you can answer that question. Number 5 is around big raises, asking big raises from your employer. So, I mean, he provides the scripts on how to ask your boss for more money. I don't need to tell you how well these kind of things work. It really depends on you, your performance, your responsibility. It depends on the company. It depends on the economic environment. The script is not going to do anything for you. Well, except putting the nice words that maybe you would forget to say, but really it's not gonna make a big difference. There's so many other bigger factors that are going to influence whether you're going to get a raise or not. My personal advice, if you want a big raise, is to really get leverage. Have another job lined up that has a higher salary and stuff like that, and show that to your boss and say, hey, I could have this job. I have an offer letter from them, but I really like to stay here. If you can match this amount, then I'll stay. But again, this is going to affect your relationship with your employer as well, because now you're basically blackmailing your employer into keeping you there. And if I was your employer, I would start thinking, well, maybe I need to find someone else that's going to be more loyal to the company and to the job. So you could negotiate a big raise, and then it's going to increase your salary a little bit. And eventually, it's probably not going to make a big difference. So again, it's not really going to help you be rich unless you're making a huge amount of money and you can negotiate these massive raise or something like that, but it's not going to get you there. The next one is around investment strategy, and he recommends a passive approach to investment strategy, which I like. So he recommends mutual fund, but low-cost mutual funds and ETFs. So I really like that advice. This is a good advice for investing your money passively, long-term, and you don't have to worry about it. Set it and forget it. So that's great. I think this is great advice. I would not put all my money in this because it's great for liquidity, but I would not put all my money in this. It's not going to help you be rich, right? Because the typical ETF returns around 8 or 9%, maybe 10 some years. So in the long run, it's not really, when you calculate the inflation and stuff like that, you're going to be good, you're going to be better off, but it's not going to help you be rich. The other thing too that I'm thinking about is in the future, when you are at retirement and you have this amount of money in your ETF and your portfolio, are you going to be able to have sufficient savings in that portfolio to provide passive income for you to retire? Are you going to have $2 million at retirement that's going to provide you the funds that you need at that time? So this is what you need to calculate is, am I able to save enough money and invest enough money in that ETF so that 20 years down the road, I'm going to have $2 million in that portfolio so that I can start withdrawing and use that 4% asset withdrawal method that I've talked about before. Then he talks about budget and finance automation. We already touched on the finance automation a little bit, where automatic payments of bills and stuff like that. But he talks about budgeting. I like budgeting. I think this is great. It doesn't matter how much money you make. You want to make sure that your spending are in line with your income. So this is something that's critical. You want to know where you're spending your money and spend your money on things that are important to you, that bring you joy and happiness. So I think this is great advice overall. I think it also helps you keep more money that you can use for savings and investment. So this is very good. So you reduce your waste and you can invest and save more. So overall, great advice. Is that going to make you rich? It really depends on how you're going to use that investment, where you're going to invest that money. And the book really falls short on that. I mean, he's really just talking about mutual funds and ETFs. He's not even talking about his entrepreneurship or anything like that, which is a little bit disappointing. But is it going to help you be rich? Probably not, unless you make a lot of money, and then you want to make sure that you can use these funds at retirement. Another topic I think that the book really falls short on is the long-term financial strategy. Really, Sethi kind of like completely forgets about all this, and this is why when I'm talking about the ETFs, think about where you're going to be at retirement. Are you going to have enough money at retirement? Is this strategy significant enough that you'd be able to retire? Is it going to be able to sustain your lifestyle if you become sick, you have healthcare bills and stuff like that? So you want to make sure that this is all in line. And really the book falls short on that. It's really kind of like a green paved road. Are roads paved green? A nicely paved road, you know, the happy path, and really not really thinking about the future that far. It's just really about organizing your budget, organizing your money today, and then crossing your fingers that, you know, that nothing's going to go wrong, and then you're going to be able to save enough money to retire and do something in travel and stuff like that. Then let's talk about entrepreneurship. This is how he made his money, but he doesn't talk about that. He basically talks a little bit about that, but not enough. He should have talked a lot more about entrepreneurship. Why would you want to start a business? What's the advantage of tons of stuff he could have talked about there, share his experience and all of that. Really falls flat. Again, he's talking about the advice in this book are kind of like from a financial advisor perspective, which he is, and selling ETFs and mutual fund, but not really sharing his career, his path to success, and helping us kind of maybe follow in those footsteps, learn from him, and then say, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, because this is how he became rich, not by investing in ETFs. Yeah, overall, the other thing that's kind of like not mentioned in the book is around security. So not enough information around that. Job security, what happens if you lose your job? You know, what happens if your job gets cut down in the future and you're late in your career, you have healthcare issues, or you have to take care of a loved one because they have healthcare issues. So all these things, this is why I'm focused on passive income. Everybody should start building passive income flow, cash flow coming into your account, and start to reach for financial freedom. This is the key here. And his strategy is more about an accumulation strategy, accumulating in ETFs and portfolio, which is very antiquated and really doesn't serve us well in the future. So I much prefer to work on passive income, net cash flow coming in every month, and then that's really the future, in my opinion. Eventually you can achieve financial freedom, quit your job or reduce your job or do whatever you want to do with your life. But you know, this is a much better strategy in my opinion, and it helps you for job loss, it helps you for healthcare issues, it helps you for retirement, it helps you for all these things. So this is where the book again falls short of that long term, of that job security and all these issues that could happen and that do happen in real life. Well, I hope you found this advice helpful. I can't tell you, I can't recommend this book really, because it's really falling short on the goal of, you know, how to be rich. I think it's good on the budgeting and you know, that kind of stuff, but there are plenty of books out there. There's plenty of resources out there to teach you how to be prepared to budget and manage your finances. I have a couple of videos on the 50-30-20 budgeting method. There's lots of resources out there that are free. I certainly wouldn't buy the book. I wouldn't follow his, I wouldn't buy in his 6-week program to help you budget either. But you know, this is kind of what it is. I think the book really falls short on a lot of big items here. I hope you like this video. I'm doing this video to help you make more money. So if this is something that you like to, make sure you like and subscribe, and see you next time.